Hey everybody, it's Jim Edwards and Dave Lindenbaum here for Beat That Headline. That's right, folks. That's the show where we show you how to make more money, get more subscribers, and get more clicks with the same traffic. I'm your host, and let's get started. What's up? What's up, Dave?
I'm doing great. I think I nailed it. The choreography classes are paying off, Jim.
I would say that or your physical therapy. Either one of those is paying off in spades for all of us.
Yes.
So, Dave, we're here with another episode of
Beat That Headline. Hey guys, yes, with sidekick Mr. Pickle.
That's right, with a side of pickle.
With the there we go. For those that are just tuning in for the first time, Jim and I are marketers, copywriters, entrepreneurs, nutty, fun, silly people, wordsmiths, ishes, and more.
There you go.
and you know, we one of the best things you could do on a landing page, sales page, checkout page is the headline. Why, Jim? Why is the headline so important? Why is it the anchor?
Well, testing the headline, especially because you can have a great headline and crap copy and really outsell a terrible headline and amazing copy, because with a great headline, people will stop and pay attention to what you have to sell or share or say. And so that's why the headline is the single most important thing on any piece of sales copy or copy, anything to the headline. That's it.
Yep. And especially when you're starting off new to kind of discover, or just getting started, understanding what your avatar wants. To people that have been in business for years and years, spending millions of dollars on traffic and ads, you can always improve your headline. And with the power of technology, you could actually start split testing those headlines. So Jim and I, every week, we talk about ways to beat headlines and other areas of your copy for conversion. And we take on real guests, contestants of the show, where they show us their headline, and Jim and I come up with some ideas to beat it, and then we test it. And today is a very special day, because what are we doing today regarding the test results, Mr. Edwards?
We're actually going to be revealing some test results, but I just want to do really quick. I want to tell everybody, for real, this is where you make a huge difference in your business with the headline. And so when we talk about numbers, and we'll talk for a minute in a minute about broad brushstrokes versus fine refinements and fine tuning, and what a huge difference that can make. But I'm going to share with you a title, Hook. Okay. Tell me which of these, and everybody who's here live, tell us which of these would get your attention more. All right. How to visualize daily, or Russian ski team secrets help you crush your competitors. Which of those would grab your attention? They're both about the same article. Which one of those would grab your attention more? Yeah, Russell's right. The second one. How about you, Dave? Which one would grab your attention?
I'll go with the second one, too.
Yeah, just because you want to copy Russell. That's fine. That was loaded. All right. So, Dave, let's remind everybody, show everybody the page that we were testing, and you gotta share your screen, and then I'll enable it so we can show it up on the screen for everybody.
Okay,
and then just remind everybody who wasn't here for the first episode, because this was the very first episode we did of Beat That Headline, the public edition, the platinum edition. So I want to just remind everybody what we were testing and what we did. All right. Absolutely. So navigate over to the page you want to share, and now everybody can see your page, Dave.
Woo! All right. So we are in the back end of ClickFunnels, our good friends over at ClickFunnels, and this is the control. So this is Lolly's Cookie Camp. Lauren and Preston Anderson, they're incredible. They're amazing. And Lauren started a business on how to make the best tasting, best decorated gourmet jaw-dropping cookies. And how to decorate them like the ones you find on the fancy cooking shows. And I could attest to this because my wife and I got it, and it's amazing.
And that's the original unedited version of the page, right? That's the control.
That is correct. And I'm going to say this until everybody fully understands the power of mobile first, especially, if your audience is like mine and 96% of them are on their phones when they're shopping and not desktop. I know, Jim, we talked about it. Sometimes you have an avatar where it's 50-50, but in all of my businesses, it's usually mobile. So I like to at least look at it in mobile and have the viewers at home look at it as well, how their customer is going to be most likely looking at it.
That's kind of jacked at the top. I just noticed.
What's that?
Look at the very top.
This up
Don't
here?
Don't miss out. Join now. There's like blank space up there.
Yep.
Okay.
All
We're
right.
making money even though the first part looks jacked. That's great. That's encouraging.
We're focused just on this headline. The only thing that we changed on this page, and we'll talk about that too. Every time we run a test, you're really forming a hypothesis and you're testing that hypothesis. And so if you make too many changes on a page and you don't know why you're making those changes, well, if the results come back good or bad, it's kind of hard to then understand why. We're always trying to get a learning. So whether a test makes you more money or makes you less money, it's good if you understand why. That's actually more important than the results being positive or negative. It's understanding why it was positive or negative. Okay.
I agree. So that's our control. You need a cookie, but not just any cookie. That was our headline. Okay.
Yep.
And just to remind everybody, our target audience is moms. Just as a reminder, moms. That's the main target audience is moms. Okay.
Yep. And what I'll do is I'll show. I won't show all of them. We tested 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think we tested. Let's go to. We tested 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. So we tested 5 of these guys. We're running some other tests as well. People that use ClickFunnels, your mind may be melting right now. Like, wait a second, my ClickFunnels account doesn't look like this. How are you running all these tests at one time? So we could share that another time. We're working on something pretty cool. But Jim, what I'll do is I'll put up a couple of the other ones so you guys could see them kind of like comparatively. So this is one of the ones that we tested. And Jim, talk about this type of headline, because this is probably more of a traditional copywriting, how to without type deal. So
what we were trying to do was show, when we did that original lesson, we were talking about the fact that you can have a bunch of different angles with your headline. So one is kind of like current identity based. So if we talked all about, you can go back and review the previous lessons, but it was current identity based, ideal identity based. So how to be a super mom, what every mom needs to know, the number one desire to create amazing cookies, how to avoid, alleviate, eliminate pain, how to stop making crap cookies, number one desire without pain. So how to make amazing cookies without wasting money or spending days in the kitchen. And then the sixth angle is basically defeat the enemy or discover the enemy's secrets. So discover the secrets of professional bakers, or discover the secrets professional bakers don't want you to know about how to create amazing cookies at home. Actually, we didn't try that one, and I kind of like that. So that was the original lesson that we were talking about. And are those the only angles? No, but those are, when you're trying to take big broad brush strokes, you're looking for the area that based on the traffic, based on the audience, the thing that they're going to resonate with the fastest and the most. And so you're just trying to find that angle that's going to work the best. And then you're going to take little tiny brush strokes to try and incrementally improve once you found the main angle that works with that traffic.
That's right. Yep. And what we did on this test was a little sneaky, because we tested kind of like two things at once. And I think we got away with it, but we always want to be careful, right, when we're testing too many things. And so I'm going to point out, and actually what I did was I ended up pulling up all of them so everybody could see the differences between them all. So remember, This one here is the control. And what we changed was we changed something. So usually on a page, you can either, add, remove, or change the ARC method. And so when we're looking at a page and we're thinking about conversion rate optimization as a whole, not just on the headline, you could add an element, you could remove an element, or you could change an element that's already on the page. And what we did on this test, we changed an element, and we also tested adding an element. So we changed the headline itself here. You need a cookie, and I'll bring up some of the other ones here, right? Here's how to get recognized. That's what we changed. But Jim, talk about this thing here above the headline that is not on the control, and we added.
Right. So that's a call out. And a call out is a fancy way of saying you're calling out to your audience. It's really the pre-frame of the pre-frame. So it's saying, and it's based on the thing of, what's the sweetest sound to anybody? It's their name. So if you're in a party and someone yells, "Hey, Dave," everybody named Dave turns around because they know that it's something to do with them. And so the call out literally lets people know, hey, this is who this is for. And the funny thing is that nowhere else on this page would you need to mention them, or you get away without ever mentioning it again. But when you say this is for busy moms, this is for busy dads, this is for divorced moms, this is for divorced dads, this is for kindergarten teachers, this is for, families with at least 3 kids, that grabs the people who are in that group and lets them know this message is specifically for you, even though you could, and we have, changed that grabber and nothing else and used them for completely different audiences and had great results with various sales letters. So it's literally the pre-frame of the pre-frame, and it lets everybody know, hey, this is for you. And now we're seeing you looking at us, looking at ourselves. There you go. Now we're back.
Very Inception. Well, and I wanted to, so just to recap, guys, what you need to understand is we kind of tested 2 things on this page. Now, again, we're getting away with it because we have some secret, super futuristic, in-house software that allows us to test more than just A/B inside of ClickFunnels. We could test to infinity and beyond, as the great Buzz Lightyear, internet marketer extraordinaire, used to say. And so what we're doing is we're testing 2 elements. We're testing the headline, and we're testing the hypothesis, the concept, the big idea that Jim just said. We're testing out Jim's idea of calling out your audience, which, again, to show you the control, did not have. So we're adding something to a page to test, and we're changing something that already existed to a page to test. And because we have this ability to test multiple things at once instead of just A and B, we tested 5. And Jim, I'm going to go through the 5, and then people that are watching, you guys vote which one you think it is. So we're going to say this is A. This is the control. All right. You guys see it?
I see it.
All
to
right.
infinity and beyond.
All right. This is, we're going to say, is B.
Okay.
Okay.
Attention, busy moms. How to get recognized as the super mom you are with custom cookies that look and taste amazing, even if you aren't creative or have never baked before.
That's right. Oh, yeah. And we also changed, I guess you could say, the subheadline. So the differences between A and B are great because we are completely changed the headline and we added the call out. Okay.
That would be a wide brushstroke.
Correct. Right. Yep. And we'll do a little, we'll go into wide and fine tuning in a second. So exactly. Yep.
Okay.
All right. Ready for the next one? This will be C. Now, let me switch back and forth between B and C because all we did was change pretty much just one word. Can you guys spot the word difference?
Versus homemade versus custom.
That's right. So B is custom. C is homemade. And Jim, keeping with the theme of wide strokes and fine tuning, this is a fine-tuned wide stroke
correct
variation.
That's right.
Yep. So it's wide stroke because compared to the control, it is very different. But then it's fine-tuned compared to between these two. Okay, you guys ready for the next one? Here we go.
This would be D.
This would be D. And look at this. This looks very much like the control. In fact,
That's
somebody quickly looking at it is going to be like, you guys didn't do anything.
Yes, we did.
And
We
actually,
put attention, busy moms
That's
above
right.
the you need a cookie, but not just any cookie.
Yep, that's right. And oftentimes people, we always looking for the magic bullet, like, oh, just type in these 3 extra words and your page converts more. And people say like, yeah, that never happens. Well, stick around for 3 more minutes and you're going to see something pretty cool. So it's not a question of what, sometimes it's a question of where. That's
Right.
why this is the most prime. Like if this sales page was Monopoly, your headline is Boardwalk
and Park Place.
Park Place. I was going to say Park Place would be either the thing right above that headline or right below that headline. Your call out or your lead in. Okay. And Jim, are you ready for the next one? So Jim, would you call this a broad stroke or a fine tune compared to the control?
I would call it a little bit broader fine tune.
I like it. Beautiful. Okay. And what's the reason? What's your thinking behind that?
Because it's, even though it's 3 words and some dots, 5 dots, it's still a whole nother line, and it's an entirely other element. It's the grabber there. It's not like changing a word in the headline. So,
yep. Yeah. And if I might say, I also love that you aggregated the dots. So you added the 3 dots here, the 2 dots in the colors. And
Yeah.
only a copywriter who's obsessed with how words are seen on a piece of paper would appreciate that. All right, guys, moving on to our letter E. This is version E. Ooh, what did we do here?
That's interesting. It looks to me like you added an emoji.
We added a bromoji, as well as we went from a period to a question mark. So instead of you need a cookie, do you need a cookie with an emoji? So there are, obviously, we could always fine tune that and run one test with the emoji, one test without the emoji, one test with an emoji on this guy here. But yes, this is, also, I would say more of a fine tune of the previous one we did as well. So guys, I'm going to go back. Here we go. So this is A. This is the control. This is exactly how the page came before we started testing headlines. This is B, that broad stroke. This is C, that broad stroke but fine-tuned with just changing the word custom to homemade. This is D. Boy, I had to remember my alphabet. A broad stroke in terms of what we're testing, but just a little blurb on top. And this is E. Changing the control a little bit in the headline with a question mark, adding an emoji, and then also adding the call out on the audience. All right.
So which one? Put in your guess now. A, B, C, D, or E. Put in your guess. Come on. Otherwise, the show doesn't work if you don't participate. All right. It kind of sucks if you don't guess.
And also, guys, why? Why do you think that? Remember, we're not just testing.
Don't even ask. Now I want to know why.
I care.
C, and D. C, and D.
Killing me, because as marketers, the guess is only, then you're gambling, right? But if you think we're testing
hypothesis. Our job is to tell them why. Our job is to tell them why. Nobody told Bob Barker. Well, Bob Barker, they did tell him the price. All right, C, D, D. So we got a lot of C's and double D's here.
All right.
C's.
My crowd.
All right.
All right, here's the big reveal, guys. So, by the way, this test is still running. But we can show you our front winner so far and our losers so far. And so let me.
Can you zoom in more on? You got to zoom way in on that if you can.
Yeah, you bet. Yeah, let me. Not allowing me to zoom in here. Let's see if I can zoom in here. Okay, cool.
There you go.
Okay, so,
nice.
And I believe I set them up in order. It is very possible. Okay, yeah. Wow. Jim, that was by accident, but we actually did them. That's amazing. What are the chances?
Nice work.
Dude, I literally just randomly set up the tabs and then it came out that way. Very cool. Okay.
Thank you, God.
I know, right? Okay, so before we get dizzy, let's go back to look at.
All right, there you go.
All right. So the control
Was A.
was A. The broad strokes was B and C that we were talking about, right? We just changed that word. The adding the
D.
calling out your audience is D, which is taking the same exact control headline and just calling out your audience. And then E is making some changes to that headline while calling out your audience by adding a question and an emoji. And the results, and so what we're doing, what you guys need to look at is the opt-in rate, and then eventually the sales percentage. Okay.
Right.
And so gray means losers, cleared out losers. The way we test, we have our own methodology because we are able to test more than one
methodology, not mythology. Methodology.
No, it's so good. It's mythic. It's like like people talk about it like with like as like ancient times, and then Lindenbaum's like conversion rate optimization process.
You're killing me.
So this is super fascinating. This is like super crazy. So in case you guys don't know, by now, green means the winner so far, and so we're going to run this for another week or so. But the ones that we completely turned off are the two broad strokes, and this is super important, guys, because the Y comes out after we get the results, right? So I asked you guys, like, why do you think that way? And so that helps. But all we're doing is educating guesting from our past experiences. You see, every time you run a test and you get a result and you get to get a hypothesis on it, it gets you better at making a more predictable guess next time in the future. Okay. And so what I'm getting from looking at these results, the winner is taking the same exact control copy and then just adding that call out. Attention busy moms. And what's crazy is if somebody only tested one thing, attention busy moms, here's how to get recognized as a super, right? You start throwing the baby out with the bathwater because you start saying, oh, I guess calling out my audience doesn't work. And so that's why when we add two things to an equation, if you have the luxury of split testing multiple things at once, you always want to match up broad strokes with fine tuning. So you get the best kind of combination, and you don't throw out the baby out with the bathwater. And if you don't have that opportunity to test multiple things, then you really only want to test one thing at a time, one hypothesis at a time. So Jim, what can we infer? Let's assume another week goes by and these numbers keep, and the attention busy moms, you need a cookie, but not just any cookie, becomes a winner. What would you then, based off of that, what would you think the next test would be? And what do you want to, and I could stop my share right now unless you want me to stay on to look at any of the rest of this data.
No, I wanted to point out, somebody might say, okay, the difference between the original and the other is 3 point, God, you scrolled like crazy, man. But the conversion rate, the sales rate on the control is 3.02. And then the conversion rate on the other one is 3.16. And you might say to yourself, well, that's only 0.14% difference. That's not a lot, but actually the point,
yeah, that 0.42%
that difference is almost 5%.
Yeah, it's contributing.
That's almost a 5% increase.
Correct. Yep. And if you look at pure value of this of the traffic, it's been running for 12 days, and that is over $400 in extra profit. So you times that by 3. Figure.
Where are you getting the $400 in profit from? I'm not seeing that.
You got it. So you look at the value.
That value is $2,100 up there, and it's $1,700 below. It's $400 less.
1 second. Oh, my bad. That's because more people went through it. So you got to go off of conversion.
I got you.
Yeah. Okay. My bad. So it's 14% of whatever this is.
Right. So the biggest thing to understand is that for a lot of companies in this world are running at a 10% profit margin. They think they're great. And if you went from a 10% profit margin to a 15% profit margin, you just increased profit by 50%. So that little conversion rate can make a huge difference. And the thing to understand is that when you move then to a situation where, let's say we've got that headline then, okay, we say, okay, this is our new control and we can't beat it with big swaths because, and by the way, that's one reason why it's important to ask, don't just throw away, like, okay, I'm going to test, so I'm going to throw away everything. No, if you've got something that's already converting, don't test against it, but don't just like throw it away. Don't discount it, because that probably holds the seed of a big jump. So if we do attention busy moms, okay, you need a cookie. But not just any cookie. So I would say now, if we're done doing the big broad brush strokes, now it's time to do the little refinement things. So maybe we test putting that in parentheses, so that it really emphasizes that, and people, because people's minds, people are just, they're drawn to quotes. Maybe another thing we could try would be to put this in parentheses, so it creates a true headline, subheadlines like, you need a cookie, but not just any cookie. That's the equivalent of what that's doing. You could also add other stuff. That's probably not a good color. We could try underlining. Again, now we're just going for little shifts. And you might say to yourself, well, Jim, what kind of difference would that make? Well, let's say if we did this and it increased our conversion by 0.1%, okay, or not even 0.1%, 0.05%. And then we did this and it increased conversion by, I don't know, 0.075, okay? And then we did this, or we added another word like discover, or just some one little word tweak, or maybe instead of a period, we have an exclamation point. You need a cookie, but not just any cookie. And let's say that raised it by 0.1%. Now you're still thinking, man, 0.05%, I got a better chance of getting run over by a beer truck on the highway than that. But when you start adding these up, that's 0.225%. If we add that to the what was it? I don't know. It was like 3.2%. We add that, okay? Now all of a sudden we've gone to 3.425%, which is taking us up almost 0.5%. But that's like a 15 or 20% increase over what we had. And again, now you're going from, a 10% profit margin to a 30% profit margin, which is like tripling your profit margin. And these little tiny increments are where the long-term riches come from. And if you can get excited about it, it can make a huge difference in your business. If you're one of those people who says, "Oh, it's working, just don't break it." How can you break it? As long as you're measuring and testing, you can't break it. If something goes down, you just change it back.
Yep. Yeah, I would say too, the thing that people aren't seeing is for sure when we're doing like quotes or underlining, that's like an example of like fine tuning and tweaking. I would go I wouldn't go there just yet. I would do more on hypothesis of because the attention busy moms, that could be applied to the messaging now throughout their brand if they're not doing that yet. And so there's intrinsic value too, because you're getting a learning from it as well. So I would, before we actually get to, that's like super, super fine tuning. I think there's still room to say, to test attention and then something else, or something. Attention busy moms over something and people anxious for the holidays or something, where we're still forming hypothesis on how these people that are coming to this site identify themselves as. Yep. And so in my
attention
mind,
stressed out moms, attention full-time moms.
Yeah. So where the opportunity lies
Working
is
moms.
isolating just that call out, because from the test we see that calling out that audience
Made a difference.
It made a difference when matched against the control headline. So I would keep the control headline and then just start testing that, because once we hit that, then that could be used on our Facebook ads. It could be used in our emails. It could be used in upsells. Like how these women identify themselves. It's beyond just a conversion.
If we say attention single moms, you need a cookie. Let's not take that out of context, ladies. Okay, I'm just saying.
Yeah, but definitely changes that audience for sure. Attention, divorced, women, moms, attention dads, like just that. It's such a powerful thing. And so to wrap this up, guys, part of the reason of us doing actual tests and then showing you the results is to see how can you apply this to your business. So Jim and I can't work with everybody, but if you're looking at this, what could you do? Do you call out your audience on your sales page? And if you do, maybe start testing different ways to call them out.
Absolutely. And the other big lesson here is you don't know which headline's going to win, because everybody was convinced that either the homemade or the other cookies, those were going to be the ones that won. And I kind of thought that was going to be the one, and then just calling them out and using the existing headline. But the other thing you always got to look at too is one thing that we didn't look at were the ads. So the ads, you got to see what is the conversation that's going on it's like a handoff. Okay, there's the ad, and then there's the landing page, and then there's, all the other pages after that. But if we'd have looked at the ad, that might have given us, and we know how the ad is doing, that might have given us a clue as to what was going on here. So you got to look at it holistically as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yep.
Did you want to show something, or were you good?
I'm good. I think
okay.
We're good. And guys, how can you apply this to your page? That's the thing. If you have a current landing page up or sales page up, what can you take away from this? You could write it in the comment section. Even better, you could do it and take a picture and send Jim and I, because we want to do this to to learn and grow and share together.
We had one quick question, which I think is good. Randall asked, if you beat the control, do you turn it off? And the answer to that is yes. You're the one that beats it becomes the control, and then it becomes the star of your own game show, which is beat that headline. That's right. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you next time on Beat That Headline. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.